Good morning, everybody. We've got a first up for Hannan here. We're going to start recording videos for each press release so we can give some context around the press release. It's worked very well in other companies that I've been involved with, and now we're going to start implementing this for Hannan. You'll see different faces for Hannan. I'm Michael Hudson, the chairman and CEO. However, we've got many very valuable people working in the company, including Zach Tershwell, who's our exploration manager, and Kathy Vargas, who's our general manager down in Peru, plus a very extensive team of geologists and support staff down in Peru, collecting all these rocks and making all these discoveries. And I'm going to be very happy to discuss this one press release, but I think because this is our first video about Hannan, just some thoughts before I go into the details of this press release. Hannan is a company that is looking in new frontiers in the world's largest copper and gold areas, and then that's the Peruvian Andes. And we're looking in a part of the Andes that has really never been looked at much before. We call it the back arc. So it's only 100 kilometers or less east of the top of the Andes, where we get some of the largest, the second most prolific corridor of copper and a top 10 corridor for gold, massive systems. So we're in the backyard of these systems, but we found another parallel trend, and it's going over the top of the Andes down into the lower areas at around 800 to 1,000 meters high. So still high for many parts of the world, but relatively low in a Peruvian sense. The difference here is we're over the rain shadow and where all the rain falls down after it passes over the Andes. So it's jungle and lots of dense vegetation. That's the opportunity and the challenge, because we're looking through this dense vegetation under it to find the rocks and these mineral systems, and we're doing lots of different types of work, from geophysical work to reconnaissance work. We're drilling at the moment, of course. Also, some of the first ever drill holes in these areas, first holes within 50 kilometers of a new parallel belt trend of the Andes. All these systems are the right age, so they're twins of what we see in the high Andes. They're the same age as what we're seeing further east. So we're unraveling multiple systems. We've got something like 18 different porphyry copper epithermal systems, and we're focusing on only a few of them at the moment. We have a joint venture in the north of the country for a slightly different style, a sediment-hosted copper style, with the Japanese government, JOGMEC, and that's been going for a number of years. JOGMEC would have spent $35 million to earn their percentage in the project. So we're doing all the work, and they're earning in. It doesn't cost Hannan shareholders a cent for that opportunity. And then 100% owned projects, Valiente project, that is a few hundred kilometers south, and what I've been talking about with these porphyry copper epithermal copper gold systems. They're a little unusual systems. They're twins, but not identical twins. Like I said before, they're what we call alkalic systems. So the porphyries have gold in them. We're looking at these alkalic gold systems that really don't exist in this part of the world before. So we're unraveling the economic opportunity. So massive opportunity here. There's any one drill hole could change our lives. We're finding these massive systems over very large areas. So what we're talking about today, to get down into the press release, is an area we call Previsto. It's a 5 by 5 kilometer area that has soils that are essentially above 0.1 grams, so very anomalous for soils over that massive large area. And then we've got lots of porphyry centers through there, and these alkalic gold systems where we've trenched 100 plus meters at grams, and including 20 plus meters at 5 or 6 grams that we just found underneath that jungle cover. And I want to stress that again, that this is not easy exploration. It's quite steep terrain, lots of vegetation. So when you find gold, you can generally find a lot more around it. And that's the key point here of this press release, that we're starting to find rock chips that are running very high grades of gold. Here we're talking 6.7 grams gold and over an ounce, over 34 grams of silver, a kilometre away from areas where we've trenched the hundreds of meters in an area that we defined about a year ago. So it's a very exciting outcome. There's a massive sea of low-grade gold in these alkalic gold systems, but what we're now looking for is are the high-grade centres, and that's what we've started to find here in this new area. And there's multiple samples, and then you can go 300 or 400 meters west, and we're finding more plus 1 to 2 gram samples over channels that we're just getting little windows of in between when we strip off some of the vegetation. So very early days to start finding more high grades in this massive system, succeeding in our aims, and the tenacity and rigor of our field teams is absolutely to be commended. So much is happening in Peru at the moment. We've got a drill rig spinning 20 kilometers to the southwest from Previsto. That's in an area we call Valiente, and that's two porphyry centers surrounded by or sandwiching an epithermal system. It's over 11 kilometers, a big system in itself. We're permitted to drill 40. We've got permitted for 40 platforms there, so many more holes. You can drill multiple holes per drill hole per platform. So the drill rig's spinning there. We've drilled one area we call Ricardo Herrera, mineralized system, but doesn't look like it's going to form the grade that we want to see. So we've moved on to the two other systems, Sortalecchio, where we're drilling now our second hole, and then we're going back. We put a few holes into the meat in the sandwich. It's called Vista Alegre, and we're going back there after we finish drilling at Sortalecchio. So any one hole could change our fortunes there. And then, of course, we've got the massive system to the northeast, Previsto, that we've just been talking about, that 5 by 5 kilometer area. We've got 6 geologists plus support staff that are in there every month, piece by piece, pulling that apart, that system. And there's so much more work to do to get make sure that when we do start drilling this system, that we'll be drilling in the right areas. And we found one very high grade zone over hundreds of meters, and our aim now is to find more of those. And what we reported today was very much a first start of that. So much news flow to come from the drilling at Valiente, and then from all the active field work with 6 geologists at Previsto. So keep your eyes on what we're doing. We're permitting. Permitting in Peru is unfortunately not that fast. We've cracked the nut and drilling in areas anyone's ever drilled in before. So we're uncovering these areas. But of course, because we're making these wonderful discoveries at Previsto, we're dying to get a drill rig in there. The earliest we see that happening is later this year at the earliest. So we're working very hard to make sure the Peruvian authorities can permit this thing as quickly as it can, because it's in the national interest really to be starting to unravel these systems for the benefit of all the stakeholders around the project. From the first Sunday in March, the world's largest mining convention, the Prospectors Developers Association of Canada, or PDAC, is being held. And we will be there for Hannan. We'll have Zach Tershwell, our exploration manager. I'll be there. We've got Mariana Bermudez, who's our company secretary, also there. We've got a booth. So please come and visit us. Come and learn lots more. We'll have rocks and mineralized rocks from all these centers over the 100 kilometers of where we've got those 18 different porphyry copper gold systems emerging. Lots of detailed information. So please come and visit us, and we'll love to tell you the massive opportunity that lies behind Hannan.